Aloha, I'm Representative Gene Ward and welcome to the State Capitol. This is my office space in room 318. This is another legislative update for the 2009 legislative session. I want to talk to you about a couple of things. The first is, all of you who have a cell phone. Where's my cell phone? I don't have my cell phone. All of you who've got, my cell phone is right over here on the left. All of you who've got a cell phone know how many potential people you can contact in the world? How many people in the world? 6.5 billion and growing. Now, how many of those people don't like you? I'm trying to get to the point where if they didn't like you, they could harass you with this new technology, and it's called cyberbullying. It's a bill that is being introduced in the state capitol to make sure there are guidelines on how to prevent cyberbullying. What is cyberbullying? Somebody who sends you a text message with a threatening, menacing tone to it. I have a statistic that says that 53% of kids admit someone has said something mean or harmful to them, or that they would do harm to them. That's over half of our kids. And then 58% have not had someone that they told their parents about, or a supervising guardian, that this is something that they have happening to them. The problem is that now we are connected to the whole world, but we are having some very dangerous propositions that are coming out of that. The pornography example. We have one of our commercials that the local Roadrunner station, it has a young man looking intently at his screen, and then you hear this provocative, seductive voice saying, "Just click and you can see." And as soon as that young man clicks, boom, there's a whole ton of bricks that falls down on his computer. And that's what's happening to a lot of our youth. They are leapfrogging over the stages of maturation. They're seeing pornography, they're seeing violence, and there are people being violently or perpetrating violence upon them. So cyberbullying is very real. Cyberbullying is here and now, and it's creating an unease in the educational and the legislative community here. And it's something that I, as a member of the Domestic Violence Caucus, want to pay very, very close attention to. Speaking of domestic violence, I want you to see on today's Honolulu Advertiser, my colleague, Representative Kimberly Pine, featured in Karen's Law. Karen's Law is something that, unfortunately, is a tragedy that happened in her district, where a young woman was murdered by a very, very young man who was underage, and nothing has been able to happen to him because of his age. This is an issue that I'm very concerned about. In fact, Representative Mizuno and I and a few others have just co-founded the Domestic Violence Prevention Caucus. That's a group of like-minded legislators from both the Republican and the Democrat side who want to put a voice, a face, and a stop to domestic violence. It is increasingly a problem in Hawaii, especially now with the economic downturn. What is the first thing that people fight over in their households? Money. And when money is tighter, fights become more often, fights become more violent. And we've seen so many people, if it's anything in the newspaper you've seen, it's about domestic violence and its increase. That is something we want to put a stop to, and that is one of the bills with Karen's Law. One of the bills that we heard this morning in the Human Services Committee is a way of having a temporary restraining orders, TROs as they are known. A lot of the violence that happens in the household is between Friday night, when the government and the courts are closed, and Sunday night when they are still closed, and then Monday morning when they open up again. We want to be able to get into the cyber space, if you will, and to be able to electronically, by the internet, process the protection of these women who are being threatened, process the protection of these people on the weekend who otherwise have nobody to go to. And for those who are the ones that we want to prevent from approaching many of these women, we have to be more astute electronically monitoring them. I have in my BlackBerry a GPS that anywhere I go in the world, it shows where I am. I mean, if it can be for me, and I'm just trying to do it for the sake of not getting lost when I go to the mainland or other places, but if we want to do it to where those people who need protection want to find the perpetrator wherever they are, we have to get the money and the programs and the policies in order to protect the women. So those who come near will know on a beeping stage, just like all the Star Wars and the other contemporary Hollywood versions of this, we need to do it, and we need to do it now. Those are two issues I wanted to bring to you. The cyberbullying, which if you have kids, Be mindful, if they've had it happen, it says 58% will never tell you if you're the parent or you're the guardian. The other is the increase of domestic violence. These are two things that we've got to, particularly as times get tougher, we have to be very aware of. And our new legislative caucus, I think, is doing that, and I think that's one of the things that you should be attuned to. And if you can help us, call your legislator. John Mizuno, he's the key of the Domestic Violence Prevention Caucus, and I'm Representative Gene Ward. I represent the area from Hawaii Kai to Kalama Valley. Thank you for viewing. We'll continue to give you updates on your legislature in the 2009 legislative session.